Hey, hello guys. Today we come back to the Hedge engine development series. Actually, I constantly spent time on updating it, and lots of new things are added into the engine, so it's more or less like a progress report. Overall, there are some big updates. The first one is the GPU and asset resource management system. The next one is the GUI updates for the editor. I added some code to show the scene graph, entity properties, and assets. The last one is the file layout of the game project, specifically assets file layout like static mesh or materials layout. Let's take a look at them carefully. First of all, the GPU resource manager basically has two tasks. The first one is to manage the basic Vulkan GPU information like Vulkan instance, physical device, logical device, command pool, VMA, and other objects. Its second job is to manage the GPU memory resources that the other engine components need to access. So in the Hedge engine, there are two major GPU memory resources. The first one is the HGPU buffer, which represents all kinds of GPU row buffers. For example, it can be vertex buffer, index buffer, uniform buffer, or storage buffer. The second type is the HGPU image, which represents all kinds of GPU image resources. The purpose of the second job is to share GPU memory resources. For instance, for a cube asset, its vertex buffer and index buffer should be able to share between multiple static mesh components if there are multiple cubes in the scene. As a result, we need a system that is similar to the shared pointer in the C++. For the GPU resource management system specifically, HGPU buffer or images are stored only in the GPU resource manager. Other parts of the engine can only access them by using pointers. Besides, they also need to refer and derefer them. If a GPU resource has no reference, it will be destroyed by the manager. I use an unordered map to implement this. The key of it is the memory address of the HGPU image or buffer in the RAM. The value of this map contains other information like the reference counter and the resource type of it. Then let's take a look at the asset manager. Its job is similar to the GPU resource manager, which is also managing the shared asset resources. For example, if there are two entities that use the same material asset, the material asset only needs to be stored in the memory for one time. Similarly, we manage this by using a mechanism that is similar to the shared pointer. The key of the map is a hash. The hash is generated from the asset's path in the project. This asset can be static mesh, material, or texture. The value of it also contains information like the reference counter. If an asset is not referenced by any components in the engine, it will be destroyed. Okay, then let's take a look at the editor itself. So let's start the application, and as you can see here, we have our editor. So at the bottom left, you can see that it is our assets panel. So in the assets panel, you can see lots of assets in the project, in the test project. So we have the material and basic wall and static mesh cube, which follows the Unreal naming, and you can see it also has empty folder and a .txt file. So yeah, and at the top right we have the scene graph. So we can see that the first one is a camera instance, the second one is a cube, the third one is a point light in the scene. So you can see that we can see the change of the translation of the camera when we move around, and this is our property panel. Overall, it still has lots of works that need to be done. For example, in the asset panel, we need to specify the current directory, and if we double click the empty folder, we should be able to get into this folder. And in the property panel, we also need to have more property information about different components, like the camera component here, and we should be able to change the parameters here, and yeah, that's basically for the editor. Okay, finally, let's take a look at the default project folder, which is the project that was open. And yeah, so I created a new folder which is called assets, and the assets from the assets panel are from this asset folder. So we can see we have an empty folder, a material, a static mesh, and a blank text file, which is really straightforward. And yeah, the editor can figure out whether it is an asset by accessing it and see whether it has a YAML file in it. So that's basically it for our video today. So if you like it, please subscribe and like this video, and I'll talk to you in the next video.